Quartering exposes YouTube censorship campaign as algorithm destroys anti-woke channels. And all of us anti-woke people have been feeling the effect of this. I've been seeing this on other streams where they've been talking about their viewer numbers and subs dwindling, as this article goes on to talk about. Jeremy Hambly, the quartering, has revealed the devastating impact YouTube's algorithm manipulation is having on his channel, exposing a coordinated soft censorship campaign targeting creators who challenge progressive narratives. His breakdown of the platform's systematic suppression demonstrates how big tech companies are weaponizing their algorithm to silence dissenting voices without the transparency of outright bans. Like I just said, a lot of channels have already pointed out their dwindling numbers. He is a much bigger channel. He's way up there, right? And he's pointed out, I mean, he put out a video where it looked like he was practically begging. He was going, I'll make whatever change you want me to make. You know, I got to pay for this. I got to do that. And I'm losing people. I'm losing money. And I mean, he was like, acting like this is the end of everything, you know. But we've all been noticing it, from channels down to small as mine, to Smash JT and Hypnotic, to the hamburger, the quarter-inch, that one, the quartering, right? The numbers tell a stark story of algorithmic manipulation. I have noticed videos that used to get 50 to 80,000 views were starting to get 10,000 views. Oh, poor baby. I wish mine could get 10,000.
Yeah.
It's the result of YouTube's deliberate throttling of channels that don't align with a platform's ideological preference. I so wholeheartedly agree. I've been pointing this out for months, actually closer to 2 years, but for the first time in 3 or 4 years, I've started losing a lot of subscribers, hundreds, thousands a day. That is a lot. Hundreds to thousands a day. The pattern suggests YouTube isn't just limiting video reach, but actively manipulating subscription feeds and notifications to starve channels of their established audiences. I've noticed this too. I will gain 4 or 5 subs, which for a channel as small as mine is, that's quite a feat, right? Then the next week comes and they're gone, even though I know damn well that 4 or 5 more have already subscribed, right? So yet they will trickle it downward just enough to keep me at a certain rate.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know for a fact there for the longest time, it wouldn't even notify me when your channel had new videos on it. It wouldn't.
So yeah. Sturgeon says that's been a problem since 2020. I've been doing this since right at the beginning of 2024, I think so, right around then. And right off, I felt like I was shadow banned, and everybody else that would find my channel would be like, hey, this isn't bad. Why aren't you growing? Why aren't you bigger? And they would say to me, you're shadow banned. I'm like, oh, I really haven't noticed. No, but of course I've noticed, right? Yeah. And he says, since before 2020, but it is an increasing problem. They've apparently either manually or tweaked the algorithm to put essentially anti-establishment people lower. So we get less subs, less views. We are not as well promoted. I don't believe in the whole algorithm anyway. I mean, maybe some kind of algorithm is needed, but not all that they have going on. You know, everyone is at the mercy of an AI that decides, hey, you're going to be popular and you're not. And then it switches up randomly. It's just jerking everybody around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my YouTube channel here, and I posted a video on June 8th, 8th of this month. I have 0 views on it. Nobody has even seen it. So, yeah.
Wait, is that on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah,
and I
bet you very well know that people have seen it, right?
Yeah. Got like there was 1, 1 view, and then the highest one I got is 3 views.
So Hambly's experience represents a pattern affecting anti-woke content creators across the platform. While YouTube's publicly claims to support diverse viewpoints, they don't. Its algorithm increasingly favors mainstream media outlets and progressive creators while systematically suppressing conservative and anti-establishment voices. Yes, everyone has been taking notice of that. We've from a tiny little channel to each wrong, like the 80 and 100,000 subs and all the way up to the million or more subs have been fueling this. They've been noticing it. YouTube soft censorship represents a more insidious threat to free speech than outright bans. By manipulating algorithms to slowly strangle channels, the platform maintains plausible deniability while effectively silencing voices that challenge approved narratives. So, to simplify what they're saying, if they're like, nope, you can't say that, you're off, you're out of here, then you can say discrimination. But by them going, we're going to bury you just a little bit, by a little bit more, by a little bit more. Now, no, you're still out there, but barely anyone seeing you. They can go, we didn't ban them. We're letting them have their free speech. We're not violating our own word.
Well, I think that's why platforms like Rumble are so important, because they don't seem to be as authoritative as YouTube is. Now, whether they stay that way, I don't know. But as of right now, they don't seem to be near as bad.
Well, there's a comment bringing in a question saying essentially that he could be losing viewership because the way he's acted lately and promoting his coffee so heavily and doing ad reads in his show and having ads in his show also. All of that is absolutely true. Absolutely. But it is also true the algorithm is trying to silence anti-woke, anti-establishment voices and ask around, watch all the videos people put out on it. I believe everyone is in agreement over this. But that's, like much like Ryan Roger Athay says, it is the covert that we have to worry about when they covertly get into things or attack you. When they do it in a sneaky way, in which this is a sneaky way. They're not outright getting rid of people, except they got rid of him. They're getting rid of some, but they are slowly silencing.
So I suppose my question is, okay, if everybody that has a different viewpoint than what they're wanting them that they agree with, if they go to Rumble, the question would be, would Rumble adopt YouTube's platform politics?
Sturgeon 510 says it became authoritarian around 2020. I would say it has been a lot longer, but it is began to show more since then. Now, you're saying if by some miracle, if Rumble became the platform, well, first of all, Google has a stranglehold on it because they make the Android operating system. They have deals with Microsoft and Apple, and their browser is integrated into everything. They have a stranglehold on it, a monopoly. They have a monopoly. Let's say somehow still Rumble becomes the default thing. First of all, Google will start saying those pop-ups going, this is not compatible with our software. We suggest you use this instead. You'll get a lot of that. But yes, you will get Rumble having to comply with stricter rules if they become the platform. Now, it could be Kick. It could be any of them. Kick, Rumble, what have you. if they become more the number one or even number two platform, they will start having to comply with the rules harder, and they will make algorithms. And eventually, yes, they will become something very similar or worse. Eventually, that's why we always need space for new companies to grow, so people can keep more of a free market and they can go on to the next thing. That cannot happen if a company has a monopoly, an iron grip like Google does. Now, back in the day, in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, it was Microsoft. They had that monopoly. They had that iron grip on all the software. Now it's Google. Next, it may be Apple. Monopolies are bad. And yes, it does hurt free speech. And yes, I support independent platforms as Rumble or Kick or what have you. And I also support the ability for a new one to rise up when they become problematic.
Because, well, the reason why I was asking is I was just wondering if there was a way that people could get around that kind of a thing. I mean, because like you said, Google's got a stranglehold on everything. So that's why I was asking.
You do have your freedoms of using other platforms. But along with that, you will find they're not as popular. They will not have the same amount of support or technological prowess behind them. You will have to, as the old term goes, eat your own dog food, which is unfortunate, but it's either convenience or freedom. You know, pick one, right? Do you want your convenience or do you want your freedom?
Yeah, I see. I see what you mean.
That's one reason I strongly support open source software, even though it's filled with the fruity LGBTQ blah 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 blahs. I prefer it to be politically agnostic, neutral, open to all, right? Open to all without pushing any political view either way. That's the way I prefer it. But with that being said, I still wholeheartedly support open source software because it does represent freedom as well until one day it doesn't. Kind of like the way they're bickering over this new X server or updated X server. They're trying to say, you can't fork this, even though it is literally written in the legal code. You can fork this. That's the spirit of open source. You can fork this. And they're trying to, point being is, eventually open source will not be open source any longer. Not in the sense that you can make your own version of it. There will come a day that will be true. But right now, as it stands, it is a good reason to support open source for alternative, for fair competition, for freedom.
Yeah. It's just too bad that they have such a stranglehold on everything that new companies can't rise up and have their time, It's just too bad because it's like you said, we need that. We need those new companies to do these things so people can have choice. Right now, nobody's got a choice. It's either Google or nothing. So
what would be nice is a decentralized platform like YouTube, but decentralized. I've seen instances of decentralization that was poorly implemented, like Mastodon, which is kind of like a open decentralized X/Twitter. But the way it's implemented, I don't agree with it because you have, like, if you want to join this one, you got to put this in before, and you got to sign up an account with this set of servers and this set. It's decentralized too much. Well, even decentralized, you have to have somewhere that ties it all together and makes it one.